now. And judges, you may begin.
Hello, good morning or afternoon, whatever it is where you are at. My name.
I can't hear anything.
Uh-oh. I can hear myself.
Turn
Can
up your
anybody
volume.
else?
Justin, you're nodding as if you can hear us. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ava, you can hear? Yeah. Ivy.
Okay, I'm able to hear now.
Okay, good. All right. My name is Richard Leiter. I'm a professor at the law school at the University of Nebraska College of Law. I'm also director of the law library. I've been judging state competitions here in Nebraska for about 15 years, and this is my first time at the nationals, the big top. Let's see, Kurt, you want to go next?
Sure, great, thanks. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Kurt Mabus. I'm an attorney with the United States Air Force. I've been practicing for a little over 12 years now, currently stationed in Colorado Springs, Colorado, teaching law at the Air Force Academy here. I am also an alum of the program as well.
Candida?
And my name is Candida Steele, and I'm retired as a judge on the U.S. Civilian Board of Contract Appeals. I handled federal government contract disputes around the country. And I'm from Maryland and have been judging this program on the national level as well as state for 20 years. So this is a highlight of my year for sure. So welcome.
The students, you want to introduce yourselves?
My name is Ava Taylor. I am currently a junior at Clay County High School.
I am Cheston Haynes, and I'm a senior at Clay County High School. Very nice to meet you.
My name is Ivy Taylor. I am a junior at Clay County High School. Our teacher is Mr. Philip Dobbins, and our coach is Mr. Mike Mullins.
Terrific. All right, we are going to be addressing question 1, unit 5. And I'll read the question to get us started. A result of the decision in Wisconsin v. Yoder is that any parent or guardian can refuse to let their child go to school beyond the 8th grade or learn about a subject by saying that it's against their religious beliefs. Do you agree or disagree with this decision? Why and why not? What, in other words, or what words, if any, are found in the Constitution or in the state constitutions that protect this right to education? And how have courts balanced religious beliefs with other beliefs? With other rights, pardon me. Take it away.
On May 15, 1972, the Supreme Court heard the case Wisconsin versus Yoder, in which 3 Amish fathers, in accordance with their religion, refused to enroll their children in public or private school after they had completed the 8th grade. The fathers were originally found guilty of violating the law under Wisconsin's compulsory attendance law and therefore were fined. However, when the Supreme Court of Wisconsin tried the case, the court ruled in a 7-0 decision that Wisconsin's compulsory attendance law violated the Amish's First Amendment right under the Free Exercise of Religion Clause. Due to this case, any parent or guardian can refuse to let their child go to school beyond the 8th grade or learn about a subject by saying it's against their religious beliefs. The panel's views on the court's ruling is as follows.
The panel agrees with the 1970 ruling of Wisconsin v. Yoder. The First Amendment Free Exercise Clause states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Restrictions placed on free exercise of religion are encroachments of liberty, therefore making the Wisconsin compulsory attendance law unconstitutional.
However, a counter argument can be made that the ruling was not correct. According to the Amish Foundation, most Amish speak English at a 2nd grade language only at a 5th grade literacy. Today, few Amish children in some states attend rural public schools, but the vast majority go to 1 or 2 room schools operated by Amish parents who have not gone to high school themselves. In these schools, children do not learn STEM, civics, law, politics, sex education, or any form of art. While this is okay if the child plans to live a traditional Amish lifestyle, it is not if the child wants to further their education or live in a traditional American lifestyle.
The Supreme Court has protected certain rights to religious groups, but this does not only affect them. Without freedom of religion and other freedoms protected by the Bill of Rights, the government could technically tell people what to think and how to act, as was the case with many monarchical governments throughout history.
Religious freedoms, on the other hand, do not protect things like Jim Crow laws that forced all individuals to segregate African Americans regardless of their beliefs. In contrast to this, a well-known example of religious freedom is in the case of Masterpiece Cake Shop versus Colorado Civil Rights Commission. In this case, a Christian bakery owner refused to make a wedding cake for a same-sex couple because it was against his core religious beliefs. The Supreme Court ruled in the bakery's favor due to the fact it was a privately owned company and that the right to exercise its First Amendment right.
However, the Supreme Court has ruled in Sherbert versus Verner that the federal government may, but only when in order to protect the common good and prefers the American diversity where people in different faiths, worldviews, and beliefs can peacefully live together without fear of punishment from the government.
The Supreme Court ruled in a 1973 court case, San Antonio Independent School District versus Rodriguez, that there is no fundamental right to education in the Constitution of the United States. Because of this, that responsibility falls onto state constitutions. All 50 states have at least one mention of education in their constitutions, ranging from public school funding, religious restrictions, education of disabled students, age of students, duration of school year, and the establishment of state higher education systems.
For example, found in Article 12, Section 1, the West Virginia State Constitution declares, the legislature shall provide by general law for a thorough and efficient system of free schools. This follows by a description of funding for schools, rules for creation of new schools, and other things concerning education. All of Article 12 allows for all students in West Virginia to be provided with a free education, and in the Bill of Rights, it is the 10th Amendment that leaves education as a topic for the states to deal with.
Very good. Thank you. Let's see. How should a student's right to an education, as you've carefully sort of outlined it, be weighed against a parent's religious beliefs?
I believe that a student's education is very important, especially if they plan to further their education once out of high school. And very rarely, but not always, students do not have the same religious beliefs as their parents. And most of the time they do, but when they don't, their parents' religious beliefs and the students' educational needs can clash. So I believe that it's the utmost important students get their education before it clashes with their parents.
I just want to add to that, as we were talking about in our response, not all Amish children choose to stay in their community. In fact, 80% stay, which is a great amount, but 20% leave, which is also a great amount. So if you don't provide these people, these children with the education to function in a normal American society, they may have trouble later in their lives if they choose to leave their community.
I agree with my teammates. I'd also like to add, but it should be the parents' decision and their child's decision in correlation with each other to make this decision themselves without the government.
I want to add one more thing. It's not only the Amish children that are missing out on education. There's multiple other religions that restrict education. For example, the ultra-Orthodox Jewish, they send their children to these schools called yeshivas. And the main focus of these schools are Judaic studies. They are not secular education. So they do receive some secular education, but it is very little, like 60 to 90 minutes a day, 4 days a week at most. And the main goal for the children that attend these schools is to become rabbis, not to become a citizen an American citizen.
So, do you think that what do you think the role of the state should be under such circumstances? What does separation of church and state mean? Anybody want to address the difference between church and state? Or Kurt, you got a question?
Sure, I do. I just wanted to check, make sure that there's no volume problems. Cheston, Ava, can you still hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right, did you hear Canada's question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, just wanted to make sure there weren't any volume control problems. So one question I did want to.
Ivy?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
One question I did want to do was go back to the preeminent case, Wisconsin v. Yoder. You talked about how the court has to struggle with a couple of different rights here. What test did they use in the case to balance those rights, and was it the correct test?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Sure. What test did the court use in Wisconsin v. Yoder to balance the different rights? The freedom of religion versus the compulsory education. What test did they use, and do you think that was the right test?
Shall we move on to something else? Do you have a feeling about whether state can impose vaccination rules on students that may have a religious objection to vaccination, especially in the COVID era?
Personally, I believe they shouldn't. So a lot of people believe that the COVID vaccine is more or less a rushed product that might affect people down the road. I believe it should be the decision of the parent and the student if they are of age to make this decision.
So many schools, including
So you think a state shouldn't say you have to be vaccinated?
No.
Many schools, such as West Virginia, make you be vaccinated before you can come to the schools. Not necessarily the COVID vaccine, but other vaccines that you get as a child, and that's of you and the staff at the school and the other students at the school.
Yes, the schools can impose certain.
But I think that's okay.
Go ahead, Ivy.
So this is just like the mask mandate that we were in. It's only for the protection of the citizens or the students. It's not to harm you in any way. It's not to go about religious beliefs. It's just for the protection. So I believe that
I think we just lost you.
I think she accidentally muted herself.
Yeah.
I'm here.
All right, Ava, I know you had a response as well. Turn it to you then.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just like Ivy said, many schools such as West Virginia, they do impose that you must have vaccines. And they do this just for the safety of everyone that goes to that school.
And so the safety reason trumps the religious beliefs in this case.
Yes.
Okay. Judges, do you have any follow-ups in the remaining 2 seconds?
Are we about at time, Matt?
We're pretty close.
You're muted.
It's about 10 seconds. So
Well-
it's time.
I don't think we're going to get an answer in 10 seconds. So
Yes,
thank you very much. Congratulations.
good job. Now this is our opportunity to give you some feedback. I will lead off and start saying that I thought that your presentation, your opening statement was very well thought out and was well reasoned. And I thought it was a very good analysis of the general approach to the question. You should all be very proud of yourselves. The level of knowledge that you have about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, is very favorable compared to the average man on the street, no matter whether it's a street in West Virginia or Lincoln, Nebraska. So you're a head and shoulders above. And so keep up the good work.
Great. Kurt, you want me to go?
Please.
Okay. I thought that was a nice job. Thank you very much. I appreciated references to the Jim Crow laws was an interesting point to be making. You brought up the Masterpiece Cake Baker case, and you just might be interested to know that one of the judges who's going around, you might see him tomorrow, was the district court judge who wrote the initial decision that ended up going up to the Supreme Court. I think he was overturned by the Supreme Court, but I'm not sure. And I hope you've enjoyed this experience. We certainly enjoyed talking with you about it, and I hope your education has been, I know you'll be wonderful citizens as a result of the experience you've had, and I hope you'll use your knowledge to take in what's going on in the world and share with your families and friends why they should do what they should do and vote the way they should vote or the way you think they should, at least to get them engaged in their civic life. And I hope you've had fun doing this because you've done a nice job, and it's been a pleasure to talk with you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules and letting us attend this. And I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Kurt?
Kurt?
Yeah, you all did a great job. It's the highlight of our year for many of us to do this, and so I'm happy to do it. I really enjoyed the conversation. As you can see, this is a hard topic, and we're all struggling with it, and especially the district court judges that get overturned at the Supreme Court level. So I appreciate you struggling through it with us, because this is not easy. So well done to you all. Very impressive. So thank you very much.
Yeah, good job.